trying to get ready with me to record my first video essay for YouTube in English. I know, a very long title, but well, the video is so interesting. The allegory of the plate of sCave, community closure, metrics, social media and algorithms, politicians' small screens, and the case of Cambridge Analytica. Yeah, I know, it sounds complicated, a little deep and abstract. Honestly, after we read or rewatch every phrase like 94 times at least, sometimes it didn't make sense. Or maybe I was the one losing my mind. But I think, what on earth was I thinking? I already don't know if it's such a great idea or a rubbish idea. I'm a genius or just a fool crazy. But I realized that those things are not so different. Tomato, tomato. Although I think I prefer to be crazy but healthy. Crazy healthy. Sounds contradictory, but being a genius sounds a bit of a burden. It's a lot of responsibility. This video was recorded almost 4 months ago. I know, too much. And if you watch it, you won't believe it. But before the recording I was preparing for that moment you're watching was terrible. At least I've managed to find another closet to fill in when the subject calls for it, so I don't have to clear out mine every time. But this day, I wanted to record using the phone's real camera. Better resolution, but at what cost? Because I couldn't see what was being recorded, and I was talking and repeating every phrase 15 times for 4 hours, but the phone ran out of battery and switched off after 2 hours. And I didn't release because I didn't see. I spent 2 hours talking to myself, but it wasn't recorded, and it gets worse. What was actually recorded was not good, because at the start, a police cat came in and knocked a triple over, and I didn't even notice. I was so nervous about recording in English for the first time that in 4 hours I only managed to recite half the script, and it took a lot of effort. I ended up so exhausted that I had a fever and a headache until the next day. I felt so weak and useless. Making a video wasn't supposed to be that difficult, so why did it feel like a Herculean task for me? Am I really that hopeless? I learned a lot along the way about my reality and the reality of creating content. On the other hand, editing and recording are just very beginner, but it was such a struggle. Sometimes the result doesn't reflect the effort. For me, the whole process was a kind of mental labor. At times it was so exhausting, and it's a shame to admit it because the result is somewhat mediocre in every aspect, but it's finished now, and that's a huge relief. It's all part of the process. I'll get better with every step along the way. At least I hope so. To be honest, I've had to accept a lot of negative things about myself and my situation that have held me back. I'm slow and a bit lazy. It's true, but something in my life that I can't control drains so much of my energy, and the struggle becomes 3 times as hard. Anyway, step by step, I did it bit by bit, trying to take it slowly, even though I got burned loads of times. That's it, I've done it. I don't even mind that it doesn't have a single view. It feels like a personal achievement. It is. I wasn't going to post this video because it reminded me of that fateful day, but I decided to use it to let go of that memory as a way of celebrating the fact that I finally finished that never-ending video, and it's now online. It's not even good enough to have been worth all that time, energy, and effort. It doesn't live up to my own exceptions. But that's what happens when you're new to this and prone to burning out. But remember, when you watch the video I made bit by bit over 4 months and you notice that the quality isn't great, it's obviously because it was filmed in a cave, okay? See me?